If you love lobster, this is your year. This year's East Coast lobster fishery is on pace for a record catch. Roughly 2 weeks into the season, and millions of lobsters are turning up in the traps. On the surface, it's an exciting development for the fishermen and for consumers. But as Ross Lord reports, there's a downside to this perfect catch.
It's a lobster lover's dream. 1 million pounds of the meaty crustaceans in these holding tanks in Yarmouth, Nova Scotia. After they're weighed and sorted, they'll be shipped out, most destined for dinner plates in Europe and the U.S.
We've got enough to probably last us for our Christmas market, New Year's market, Super Bowl market.
Is this the most you've ever seen?
This is the most I've ever seen in this building at one time.
The reason for the upsurge is unclear. Some credit conservation efforts or a shortage of predators. Others think warmer water has driven the lobsters offshore where there are more traps. But for fishermen, record catches merely offset the lowest prices in decades, $3 a pound. And an oversupply keeps prices from rising. Newcomer Mark Potier faces a steep climb, making longer trips at sea to compensate.
It's too much to fish 60, 70 days and expect to pay a half, $750,000 rig. It's just, you got to work at it hard and work in the off season and hope for the best.
Their leaders saw this coming, and they wanted to reduce landings by staying off the water for the first week of the season and by fishing fewer traps. But a majority of the fishermen rejected that idea.
We hate to see change. We're terrible that way. I'm guilty of that. I don't want to see change. I really fight change. But when you sit down and question it, talk about it, think it through, you say, this change is for the betterment.
For now, they remain at the mercy of brokers and retailers who aren't giving consumers much of a break either. Stores we checked with show live lobster in Halifax selling for between $6 and $7 a pound, a bit lower than last year. But in Toronto, grocery store lobster costs $7.99, and in Calgary, Nova Scotia lobster goes for $10, about the same as ever. That's tough to swallow for third-generation fisherman Ashton Spinney. He's pulling lobster out of the water for less than half those prices.
It is disheartening because if you just feel that you're being taken.
Industry leaders are now searching for new markets, increasingly desperate to increase demand and boost prices before their livelihoods are grounded. Ross Lord, Global News, Yarmouth, Nova Scotia.